Today we are discussing Cybernetics by Maxwell Maltz, based on personal experience of applying what he discusses in the book. This video is also part of the series that we started, where I discuss various books that have been helpful on the journey of actualizing 3 successful businesses, ideal harmonious relationships, communication skills, areas of life that are very important to me. I'll link in the description to the playlist. Speaking of which, actualization, inspired by Maslow's hierarchy of needs, he speaks of self-actualization. We also discuss self-realization, acknowledging that you transcend the beliefs. You exist beyond the beliefs, and you exist beyond the self-image, which is what Maxwell Maltz talks about. And as you exist beyond these beliefs and exist beyond the self-image, you may change them. If these beliefs and if the self-image is not authentic and true, you can no longer identify with the false self-image, the false beliefs, the ones that are not true and authentic. Self-actualization is actualizing your true nature from the premise of love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment, your true nature as outer experiences of life, which can include ideal harmonious business, ideal harmonious lifestyle, ideal harmonious relationships, doing what you love to do, living life the way you truly desire to live, being in flow, essentially being as you are, created in the perfect image of the Creator. I am, being as I am. Exodus 3:14, I am that I am, which means you have been created in the perfect image of the Creator, as perfect love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment. And you can choose to experience love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment as the outer appearances of life. Maslow also, later on in his career, spoke about self-transcendence. Self-transcendence. As you actualize yourself, being as you are, the self-image transforms as an accurate representation of your true nature that is individualized to you. And what you find is you automatically start inspiring people to be as they are. This is what happened to me when I got to a particular point of success in my IT business. Businesses started approaching me, contacting me, and saying, can you help me put into our business what you put into your business in terms of innovation, sales, marketing, operation, finance, leadership. So what happens then with self-transcendence is you become an inspiration based on actualizing the self that you realized. Now, Maxwell Maltz talks about the self-image. The self-image is made up of beliefs. This self-image governs how a person experiences life, whether the self-image be authentic or true or not. It's made up of beliefs. Beliefs that the individual has formed in their subconscious mind as a result of life experiences and interpreting or relating to those life experiences. As we do that, we form beliefs. These become subconscious beliefs, which are part of the self-image. And just as they have been formed by the individual, they can be reformed by the individual. And he gives a very simple, easy way to do this, which is what I would like to explore with you right now. These are 5 steps. As you follow them, as you consider them, as you value them, as you apply them, and we'll talk about how, you can transform this self-image to be an authentic, true self-image. Be as you are truly, from which automatically what appears is ideal, harmonious relationships, if that is what you desire. Ideal, harmonious business, if that is what you desire. Ideal, harmonious life experiences that are true and authentic to you. So as mentioned, this self-image, which the individual might not be aware of, is formed through experiences in life and interpretations of those experiences, which include past events in life, which form beliefs, whether they be empowering or not, limiting or not, restrictive or not, flow-based or not, and no shame and condemnation. This self-image shapes how the individual sees themselves in relation to people, environment, circumstance, information, behaviors. And how did I know that it was time for me to transform the self-image? Well, based on thinking patterns, I was aware of what I was thinking, and I was clearly, at times, not thinking authentic and true from the premise of being as I am, love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment. Also, how I was emotionally relating to people, environment, circumstance, and information. Emotions reveal the beliefs and the self-image identified with. No shame and condemnation. Also, the various experiences of life. The personal relationships, the business relationships, the relationship with myself, my degree of feeling comfortable wherever I am. Feeling authentic, speaking authentically, allowing myself to be. My degree of congruence of being as I am. We can say being comfortable in my own skin, which includes being comfortable in my own skin around people, in relationships, personal relationships, business relationships, during communication. For example, in 2010, I committed to teaching speed reading workshops while I was building my IT business on behalf of Iris Reading. And as I would approach the date of teaching these workshops, which was Saturdays and Sundays, which was a wonderful catalyst for developing my public speaking skills, what I noticed was I would experience emotions which I would label as anxiety. And as this self-image transformed, and we're going to use that as an example as we go through his method, as it was transformed, the emotions which were once subconsciously labeled by the self-image, which again, these are beliefs that make up the self-image, once those collection of beliefs that were generating the experience of anxiety leading up to the workshop was transformed, in other words, the self-image was transformed to be true and authentic to me, I experienced and continue to experience excitement prior to teaching workshops, prior to making these videos, prior to doing Zoom online sessions with my flow-based prosperity group coaching and mastermind service, when I get brought into companies to speak in their organizations, when I do live events, when I do Zoom sessions with large groups of people online, I feel a genuine excitement prior to, because I know that the beliefs that were generating the experience of anxiety, which was the subconscious labeling of emotions, as emotions are simply energy in motion. The emotions which were once experienced as anxiety are now experienced as excitement. And you and I are no different. You could do the same as well. Let's discuss how. So he speaks about how having a goal or a vision serves as a catalyst for transformation. So for me, my goal was to be able to teach these speed reading workshops in a way where I could flow while I teach them, so that the students can benefit greatly from the workshop. I had the knowledge, I had the expertise. I learned how to speed read in 2005, and it helped me tremendously. I learned comprehension, retention, and speed reading strategies and techniques that I incorporated into my learning, into my reading, into my studying, and it was extremely beneficial for me. It would allow me to get through large volumes of books, find the 20% of the most relevant information in the books, and many other benefits. We actually had a conversation a little while back with Paul Novak, the founder of Iris Reading. Him and I became friends over the years. He was so gracious to have a conversation with us on this channel. I'll link in the description to that conversation, where he teaches us how to speed read, if you're interested in that. So now, what ended up happening was I realized that I had this ability, because I proved it. Yet, the self-image was suggesting otherwise. The illusory self-image, the unreal self-image, was suggesting otherwise, generating behaviors, thoughts, and emotional relatability to the people, my behaviors, etc., that were not authentic and true. How did I know? Because I didn't feel like myself. Even though I genuinely desired to teach the workshops, genuinely desired to benefit everyone greatly by sharing this skill that I have, even though I know that I have the skill, the self-image was generating unnecessary resistance. The beliefs that make up the self-image were generating unnecessary resistance. So he speaks about having a vision, and he says that it must be conceived of as already in existence now, either in actual or potential form. Well, we know that you have been created in the perfect image of the Creator. You know that you are love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment, as you have realized yourself. Now you're on the journey to actualizing yourself and transcending yourself, benefiting people greatly with your abilities, and also enjoying your abilities manifested into form, whatever they may be. So we know that it exists, as in you exist now, in a perfect state of love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment. That is who you are authentically, beyond doubt, beyond limiting beliefs, beyond illusory self-image of suggesting otherwise. So that stated, we have a goal, we have a vision. My goal, my vision at that time, was to articulate in a way that was flow-based to transfer my expertise to the students so that they can benefit greatly. That was my goal. He says, your automatic mechanism is teleological. That is, operates or oriented to end results, goals. So So once you leave an impression on your subconscious mind by imagining yourself to be the person that you desire to be, what I did was imagine myself having wonderful conversations with the students of how they benefited greatly from my teaching and also my teaching style. I also imagined myself having conversations with myself afterwards saying, that was a wonderful, joyous, flow-based experience. So I imagined myself already experiencing that which I desire to experience. And what that did was leave an impression on the subconscious mind, and then I was oriented automatically, ideally automatically, to actualize that vision. You see what I'm talking about? The moment the impression is made by imagining yourself already in possession, already being the person that you desire to be, it's done. And to remove any kind of resistance, know this certainly. Your true nature is love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment. These are symbols that we're envisioning of our true nature. That means they exist certainly, beyond doubt, beyond beliefs. This is not about pretending. This is about being as you are. Being as you are, you know certainly that you are that in your imagination. Then number 3 talks about on the journey, on what appears as the journey to actualizing that vision. He says, do not be afraid of making mistakes or of temporary failures. All servo mechanisms achieve a goal by feedback or by going forward. He said negative feedback or by going forward, making mistakes and immediately correcting course. Consider this for a moment. It's only the individual that can label the feedback as either positive or negative. The reality is the feedback is neutral. What I recommend is to speak to yourself in a way that brings emphasis to the fact that feedback is optimization data. What did I do? I would be aware of what I think prior, how I would emotionally relate prior, behave prior, during, and after the experience of teaching the workshop. And anytime I wasn't thinking from the premise of my vision, I stopped thinking that. I didn't think that anymore. I stopped thinking it because I knew that belonged to the old self-image, which in the Bible, that's referred to as the old man. I choose to be as I am, true self-image. And this was a way of actualizing it through the catalyst of public speaking. So I was not afraid of making mistakes. What mistakes are there? This is how we experience life. We learn, we grow, we enjoy the experiences. Think of, for example, I snowboard. I skateboard as well, which you can fall again and again and again. And really you have two choices. You can get back up and get back on your board again and enjoy the experience from a state of flow. Or you could consider that as a problem. It's not a problem. What you can call temporary failure, I don't even call it temporary failure. I call it optimization data. I know what to do next. Maybe I might adjust the move a little bit. And I have fun doing it. How amazing it is that we live in a time today where you can go on YouTube and you can learn from people that are teaching how to optimize based on these optimization points. Maybe you tweak it a bit, maybe you adjust it a bit. It's fun, it's joyous, I get to do it. This is a fun thing to do. What is more fun, what is more joyous than being as you are? What is more joyous? Authentic being, unconditional self-acceptance, being unconditional as we are, as love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment, is the best feeling in the world, because from that feeling, all the appearances of that feeling are automatically added onto you, as stated in the Bible. Seek ye first the kingdom, and all these things shall be added onto you. So there's no need to be afraid of what the person may label as failure or temporary defeat, it's optimization data. We get back on the board, we do it again, we do it again, we do it again, until it's time to go home. And then we go to sleep, and then the subconscious mind, through dreams, etc., also continues to integrate from the experiences that we did. We may even have dreams about it. I've had dreams, for example, of me optimizing my public speaking. And then I knew certainly that that was part of the changes that were occurring, because then when I did the event the next day or that weekend, what I noticed was I was feeling more excitement. My body language would flow. My words would flow a lot easier. The feedback that I would get on the feedback forms were things like, this is the best workshop that I've ever been to in my entire life. I've received that feedback not just once, many times, just by doing this. And you and I are no different. You can do this as well. So the key with this is to not judge inharmoniously by appearance. See it as an opportunity to unconditionally accept yourself. It's so much fun to do the same thing again and again and again that you genuinely love to do. Like, for example, I love making these videos. I make them again and again and again because I genuinely love to make them. In business, as I do sales, I enjoy selling because selling is not something that I see as taking from another person, but rather an opportunity to facilitate a harmonious win-win beneficial outcome. Beneficial for me, beneficial for them, beneficial for divine and evolution. My product, my service is beneficial for them. They benefit greatly from it, and they compensate me with an increasingly lavish, steady, dependable income, which is consistent with integrity and mutual benefit. They benefit greatly from the product or service. That also helps their teams, their vendors, their clients, if it's B2B. If it's B2C, then they have a wonderful relationship with their family and friends as a result of my contributions of generating a wonderful service for them. For example, I have a number of friends who are restaurateurs, and we speak about this. The wonderful experiences that they generate for their clients ends up making their lives better. They have wonderful memories, which they can now talk about, which they can now share with their friends and family. They go back to these restaurants and have wonderful experiences. These are the kinds of thinking patterns that are automatically facilitated through an ideal, true self-image, which happens as a person. It automatically transforms. Don't need to worry about how it transforms. The self-image automatically transforms on the journey, on the bridge of incidence, to manifesting your authentic and true self-image. And everyone benefits greatly from it, as mentioned earlier, self-transcendence. Number 4, consider this, what he says. Skill learning of any kind is accomplished by trial and error. Mentally correcting aim after aim until a successful motion, movement, or performance has been achieved. After that, further learning and continued success is accomplished by forgetting the past, let's say, so-called errors and remembering the successful response so that it can be imitated. Again, this happens automatically through repetition, which is why I'm a fan of repetition, as you know. Repetition of the same activity from a state of flow. Repetition of the same habit from a state of flow. Enjoy the process, enjoy the journey. I value the journey and the destination. If someone were to ask me, what do you value more, Joseph? What do you value more? Do you value the journey or the destination? What do you love more, the journey or the destination? I don't have that bias. I enjoy the journey and the destination equally because I get to do the things that I love to do on the journey, and then I achieve the manifestation. What happened is I ended up teaching these workshops in a flow-based way, and at the end, I experienced what I imagined. what I visioned, you could say, became reality, but the way I like to say it is reality. To imagine otherwise would be illusory. Reality is the way you are ideally, your ideal self-image. You can imagine yourself to be a certain way right now, already accomplishing, already achieving that which you desire to experience. I did this with my businesses, I did this with my relationships, and here's another important key. I don't look to this world to determine what my self-image should or needs to be. I don't do that. I recommend not doing that because that's an illusion. You are the only one that could relate to what people say, information suggests, etc. And you choose, you discern what is authentic and choose your authenticity. Inevitably, you will do it. Inevitably, everybody actualizes being the way they are, being as I am, as that is our true nature. To imagine otherwise would be illusory. Why would we choose to imagine otherwise? Actually, that is not us imagining otherwise. That's the old self-image. In the Bible, it's referred to as the old man thinking otherwise. That's not you really thinking. You really thinking is thinking from the premise of fulfillment, from the premise of love, happiness, peace, bliss. What does that look like for you? For me, these were the symbols. So we see how this works. Self-realization, acknowledging that you transcend the self-image, acknowledging that you transcend the beliefs that make up the self-image. Actualizing on the journey, you actualize yourself in, on, and as the outer appearances of life. Ideal harmonious relationships, business success, goals, visions. I recommend watching my vision video from the start of the year. I'll link in the description to it. And then you transcend self, as in you become a living embodiment of this authentic way of being, your authentic way of being, and you automatically inspire people. When I started this channel in 2013, right away I was getting inquiries from people saying, can you teach me this? Can you help me in this personal development area? Can you help me with relationships? Can you help me with dating? Can you help me with areas that I've never even spoke of before? Because they picked up on it. They knew subconsciously, because everyone is oriented to being the way they are, that I had the ability to communicate this message, facilitate the change based on personal experience. And right away, as soon as I started my channel in 2013, I don't know if I mentioned this before, but that first year, it was a 6-figure business. That was the case with starting this channel in 2013 with my consulting practice. Right away, I connected with people. We ended up going in and consulting in their business. They also referred me to other businesses. And right away, within that first year, a 6-figure business. And you and I are no different. If you would have told me this maybe, let's say, 10 years prior to that, that could be done, I may have thought otherwise. I might have thought it was impossible. But I know certainly it's not. And I know certainly that you and I are no different. You could do the same as well. In your area of life, whatever it may be for you, it may be entrepreneurship, it could be career, it could be relationships. You can transcend perceived limitations that appear only in mind, that are part of the false self-image, and be as you are, true self-image. So you know what I'm saying? The key is listening to yourself, trusting yourself, doing the things that you genuinely want to do, valuing the journey as much as the destination. And what will happen is you cultivate the skills, you cultivate the behaviors. We had a wonderful discussion on atomic habits and another wonderful book called The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy. I'll link in the description to those videos. Let's look at the next point. Yet those videos and what we're talking about here emphasizes repetition of the same ideal habits again, again, and again, enjoying the journey until your vision is actualized and you get to be, in that regard, who you are. And so now we have number 5. He says, learn to trust your creative mechanism to do its work and not jam it up by attempting to be too concerned or too anxious as to whether it will work or not. It's done. That is who you are. You saw yourself already actualizing the vision. That is who you are. It's done. It's illusory to think otherwise. You have been created, as mentioned in the beginning, in the perfect image of the Creator. What he's talking about here is not trying to pretend to be someone that you're not, which is the result of identification to the false self-image, untrue beliefs. What he is suggesting, which is what I agree fully with, which is what I represent here in this channel, is to be true and authentic, be the way that you are, because then what you'll notice, as you be the way that you are, authentically do the things that you love to do, live the way you love to live, and it's okay to make, let's say, seeming mistakes and errors, it'll automatically manifest as ideal harmonious relationships, friendships, clients, business partners, environments, lifestyle, etc. All these things are added onto you automatically by the creative mechanism, as he says here. And so the key for a flow-based, blissful journey, one of joy, bliss, ease, the blissful journey, the blissful bridge of incidence, is what he talks about here. You're going to actualize the vision inevitably. You can choose to get there from a state of flow, joy, bliss, ease, or from a state of stress and frustration, which is further identifying with the illusory self-image, the unreal, false, untrue self-image. That identity that is made up of untrue beliefs that is not true and authentic to you, who is now unconditional love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment. And you choose to experience yourself in, on, and as the outer appearances of life. He says, don't be too concerned or too anxious as to whether it will work or not by attempting to force it by too much conscious effort. Let it work rather than make it work. Going back all the way to Genesis in the Bible. Let there be light. Delight is your true nature. Your true nature is pure consciousness, pure love, pure happiness, pure bliss, pure fulfillment, pure peace, pure bliss, Satchit Ananda. Existence consciousness bliss, truth consciousness bliss. That is you, beyond beliefs, beyond a false self-image. Let yourself be the way you are. You see it? Let yourself be the way you are. As you allow yourself to be the way you are, flow on the journey to actualizing yourself, what happens is you enjoy the journey and the destination. You inevitably get to the destination. You also get there with a mind, a subconscious mind, that has been further purified from the false self-image. And you will notice, as I have over the years, since I've been applying this information since 2004, when I discovered it through Think and Grow Rich, is all areas of your life also miraculously transformed. Because consider that that self-image, which was transformed by the renewing of your mind, Romans 12:2, through the catalyst of your vision, that transformation also released the illusory beliefs, the untrue beliefs, the false self-image in relation to different areas of your life as well. So I trust you found this video to be helpful. This was certainly a joy to make. I trust you enjoyed the clips as well. Nice sunny day. Last few videos we did in the rain. Rainy days, that's okay. We enjoy the rain as well. Nice sunny weather, beautiful park. Let's conclude this with an auto suggestion to further encourage. You could say, being as I am, as I remain committed to my vision, I value the journey and the destination. On the journey, there are various opportunities that are presented with people, environment, circumstance, information, to remain as I am, to think clearly from the premise of truth, love, happiness, peace, bliss, fulfillment, to transform my self-image to be a perfect mirror reflection of the being I am.